You would do me a favor, would you?
Sure.
Help me carry one of those vases of flowers out to the kitchen so I can be out of the way. Just set them on the counter, not put them up. Appreciate it, thank you.
Very cold.
Yes, yes.
Oh. Yeah, I know. I wanted to. I don't know if that got accomplished, but it did. Are you on the golf field?
I am not.
You want me on the golf field? Go on.
Why? Are you looking for somebody to be on the golf field?
I have no idea. If everybody volunteered to do something, it would just generate that much more.
Right, I sing the choir.
Okay.
No, I'm volunteer to sit down.
All right. This can be the last section of the.
Okay. I think we have a couple more coming. Oh, yes. We do, actually. That's why you saw me counting.
I knew that.
That's what we were so worried about.
I'm gonna be up here. Quorum is greater than half of the whole, so what you're telling me is more than half of the congregation is here.
No, our quorum is actually a bit smaller. I'll talk about that in just a second. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's better than all the other churches in the back.
Okay, I think we've got, well, we certainly have a quorum, and I think we've got most of the folks here, so I'm going to go ahead and call us to order. So come on in. And they gave me a gavel this year, so I get to have some fun with that. So just as a reminder, the quorum for an annual parish meeting is 10% of qualified voters of the congregation. So for us, that is 12 out of 123 qualified voters. And I'm pleased to report that I don't know exactly how many of you there are, but I know it's greater than 12. So we are in order. See, I'm going to have fun with this. And let us pray. Almighty and ever-living God, source of all wisdom and understanding, be present with those who take counsel in this parish for the renewal and mission of your church. Teach us in all things to seek first your honor and glory. Guide us to perceive what is right, and grant us both the courage to pursue it and the grace to accomplish it. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Okay, so we're going to begin with our vestry election. And as I did earlier, we're going to commend and thank our vestry members who are rolling off. So that is Kim Laxton, who moved to Tennessee, as well as Avis and Donna and Katie Rucker. So we want to thank them. Let's give them a round of applause and thank them for their service. And as we carry on, we have a slate of nominees. So slightly different than previous years. Normally it's 3, but because we have Kim who left earlier, she had 1 year left on her vestry term. So we actually have 4 nominees today, unless we have nominees from the floor, but 4 positions in vestry that are open. So for the 1 year unexpired term of the vestry class of 2027, I'd like to introduce Al Sweet, who has been nominated and accepted his nomination. And actually, yeah, come on up, Al. Come on up. We come up to the altar of God. Yeah. And also, so our other nominees, Michelle Desplaines, Carla Spencer, and Lynn Wright, if you would also come up towards the altar.
Yeah, really. What am I busy on?
Come on up, make a line. We're just going to do very quick. So this will be, let's see if this works. Maybe a little quiet. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're just going to do very briefly. You can say your name and how long you've been attending St. James, and if you would like to make any campaign speeches, here's your chance. I'll start with you, Carla. You're welcome.
I'm Carla. Hi, Al. I'm Carla. You're the
Hi,
only
Carla.
one.
How you
Nice
doing,
to meet
dear?
you. We're so glad you got sucker. I mean, you're going to run for. You all know me. I've been here for a long time. Cradle Presbyterian, then I saw the light.
Lynn Wright. I don't know how long I've been here. Since I was 2.
There you go.
Seriously.
So 29 years.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So, go Al.
Thank you. Al Sweet, 8 a.m., so I know very few of you. I'm a transfer person from St. Mark's and Fincastle. My wife was on vestry there and during COVID, and I figured I'd take a year here and see what it's like. Yeah, I'm retired, drive parts for Advance Auto as a part-time job, 2-3 days a week. You know, it takes up time.
Good morning, Michelle Desplaines. I've been a member here for about a year and 4 months, and that's about it.
Thank you. So here comes the really exciting part. So thank you all for your introduction. You may go back to your seat now. Thank you.
Did you notice we had 3 daughters? Okay. We had 3 daughters. And marvelous daughters. All of them will be so.
There we go. There's the factionalism we were hoping for. So
Oh, no, I got it.
So thank you all for being nominated and accepting your nomination. We do, of course, have an option for nominations from the floor. So we have 3 3-year term seats open and 1 1-year term. And as a reminder from any nominations from the floor, candidates for vestry must be lay persons who are confirmed or received adult communicants in good standing, which, as defined in the Episcopal Church Canon 117, Section 3, and additionally, vestry members whose terms have expired may not be elected for consecutive terms. So are there any nominations from the floor with that criteria?
I will move nominations to close.
Tim has moved that we close the nominations from the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Chris has seconded.
I have a question.
Can't ask it until after
You are a communicate.
I understand that, but does that mean I can or cannot vote?
Okay, good.
Yeah, you can vote. As a reminder, all communicates in good standing can vote, are qualified voters. So even if technically the membership hasn't been transferred, you're still good to vote. So, so we've had a motion. We've had a motion to close the floor nominations. We've had a second.
Oh, yeah, I second.
Chris had seconded it. All in favor of closing the floor for nominations? Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. And as there is an exact number of vestry nominees, as there are seats open, we can declare the election won. Congratulations to our new vestry members. All right. So, that's the point. Okay. So thank you all. Thank you for our participation in democracy. Next, we have some reports, and we'll start with, I'll note for our community of saints watching online, we will have the priest in charge report, senior wardens report, and sorry for the agenda, the junior wardens report, and then we will turn off the live stream for the budget and other committee reports so that people can ask difficult questions freely if they want. So I'll start. As for my report, it has been, I did do a write-up that you can read, or you may have already read in the packet that was sent out beforehand. But briefly, the 2025 has been a year of planting seeds and digging a little deeper. It's been wonderful to get to know everyone a little bit better. I was thinking about last year when we were putting the reports together. I had only been at St. James for about 4 months. So now we've had a whole year and some change together. And you really get to know a congregation after you've done, it takes a whole liturgical cycle, going through all of Christmas, Easter, Holy Week, and what a wonderful joy it's been. I've had the privilege to get to know many of you much better on a deeper level, and hopefully you've gotten to know me on a deeper level too. And I've been feeling really wonderful about our time together and how great it is to be your priest in charge. So I am quite looking forward to being called as rector, God willing, and the people of St. James consenting. For that process, we are on track. You guys may remember we did our mutual ministry review with the vestry earlier this year. We had our exercise with Jonathan before the Great Snowpocalypse, which feels like a decade ago. But we were, all that has been part of our process of discerning together about our relationship. It's me as a priest and you all as a congregation. And I think it's great. I love St. James and I hope and look forward to a long ministry here. So next thing that will be on that process, if we follow the sort of exact timeline, the priest in charge contract will be closing in August. So soon we're going to start with the vestry and the diocese. We're going to work on updating the contract and again discerning if the vestry wants to call me as the rector. One small wrench in that is that we have a brand new bishop and bishop-elect. And part of the finalizing the conversion, so to speak, is when the bishop comes and installs the priest in charge as the rector. For those of you who used to deal with Windows machines in the old days, you have the installation wizard. So we get that too in church. So that will depend on her schedule and some other stuff that's happening in the fall that I'll talk about a little later. So we are on track in general. So we're hoping that everything will go. So the only question hanging over there is when we're going to finalize everything and when we're going to do that installation. But be not afraid. So far, it looks like that'll be this fall or maybe earlier in the winter. As far as other things that we've been doing, like I said, it's been feeling like we've been planting a lot of seeds. We've of course been sustaining ministries that we've been kept for many years. Of course, some of our key ministries like Catechesis of the Good Shepherd, the Little Church Social Club, the Daughters of the King, those continue to go and we continue to support them. But we've planted some other seeds expanding out. We're hoping to move into doing more outreach to the gay community in Roanoke. The vestry identified that in the summer as something that we would like to reach out to more as a congregation. So I have some places to call and some people to meet, but that part has still mostly just been the seed. So we're looking forward to expanding on that. Another thing too is our commitment to justice. And you all have heard me talk about throughout this year the Roanoke Justice Ministries, which that's had some organizational ebbs and flows, but now things are on track, and we have formally joined as a congregation. So I'll say something to look forward to that is we have a clergy meeting next week, and then in March and April, that's when we're going to start seeing more of the congregational involvement. So there's going to be more opportunities for all of us at St. James to begin thinking and discerning about the needs in our community and how we can advocate for those in the most need. So look forward to hearing more about that. As far as another goal that the vestry set, which was trying to do more outreach and support for young people and young families, I've been cultivating a relationship with the chaplaincy office at Hollins University. We had a great turnout for the Interfaith Resource Fair back in September, and I want to thank Carla and Karen and Michelle especially for helping get not only our materials from the Ministry of Propaganda, as I like to call it, but also coming and meeting with the students and making St. James known. And since then, the chaplain's office has been inviting local clergy to do things at Hollins. So pretty much every opportunity that comes up, I take it, I sign up. I did a thing in October, and I'll be actually back in Hollins leading a Q&A and a lecture about music. That will be about worship music and protest music, that kind of thing. In 2 weeks. I almost signed up for the day after Ash Wednesday, which would have been a big mistake, so I did it the following week. And of course, a lot of my time this year has been spent with the transition committee and doing the search and transition process for our 7th bishop. I'm so glad, not only for the election going well and for the meet and greets to go well, but also selfishly, I'm really glad to be able to focus more of my time here at St. James. January was sort of the big lift, and there will still be many things to do in that we're going to help Karen. She knows the diocese, but she's going to be introduced to the diocese and know the diocese in new ways. So I'm glad and proud to be a part of that committee that's helping that transition in our diocese. And also, I enjoy one of the reasons I agreed to be on the transition committee is one of my greatest prides was that we got all the candidates here for their final worship on the meet and greet week, because I wanted them to know early about St. James and about how this is a congregation that has been a leader in the diocese for many decades, and we will continue to be leaders for them as well. So it's been great to do that work as well. Those are the broad strokes, and I'll just open up if there's any questions for me in my report. We'll have a more general Q&A later at the end of the meeting, but does anyone have any questions for me? Not even Al. Okay. So in that case, I'm going to turn it over to Donna, our senior warden.
Good afternoon. Okay. Quite a year in the life of the church. 2025. Personally, I'm always gratified with how you, my fellow parishioners, adapt to change and evolve with it. 2025 was no exception. My tenure as a senior warden began in the last half of Father Joseph's first year and continued during the first half of his second year as priest in charge. For me, it has been an opportune time to serve in this capacity. I provided support and served as an advisor, especially when I could help as liaison between the parishioners, including our shut-ins, and Father Joseph. Often, I've been the person to whom members have come to make requests for services from the priest. Indeed, 2025 has been a year of changes, challenges, and highlights for us at St. James. First of all, Father Joseph sought my advice and that of others in scheduling important liturgical events of the calendar year, making it possible for us to plan out times and logistics. Next, I collaborated with Joseph on the planning and timing of a vestry retreat last summer. Topics included mission, and Father Joseph has already mentioned about the ministries that we already do here at St. James and have been successful in the past and firmly established, and vision, what we might want to take on going forward. And we set some short-term as well as long-term goals. An important function of the year was the mutual ministry review. I had the privilege of partnering with the diocese and lending perspective on the process for their inquiry into how Father Joseph fits the profile of what St. James is looking for in a rector. There's your recap for 2025. And finishing up my 3-year term on the vestry, I want to thank everyone on vestry for your partnership and dedication to ministering to the needs of our parishioners and to our physical building and grounds. To the next senior warden and newly elected vestry members, I say, keep planting the seeds of our worship together with the whole parish, continuing to grow and flourish in the name of Christ.
Thank you, Donna. Now we'll call our junior order, Tim.
Everybody's ready, so I'll sit right there. Just very quickly, if you've seen my report that I distributed, I hope everybody was able to get a copy, but if you didn't. Compared to some years that I have been junior warden, this was a very uneventful year in the life of the property. No really major catastrophes that we had to get fixed, but we did have some issues with the air conditioner out in the parish hall early on in the year, which we got that fixed. And of course, when we started using the heat, we had the furnace go out. So, and that was just a capacitor that lights the gas elements, which was about a 30-minute fix for Train to do. But for furnaces and air conditioners, relatively minor expenses. I think both of them were about $300 and some dollars, maybe a little bit more for the air conditioner, but I do know the capacitor was $362, and also the technician for Train is ordering a coupling for one of our circulation pumps. It's rattling, and just as soon as that comes in, he's going to come put it in. He said it's not a pressing need to put it in. It's just making a lot of noise. It's not broken or anything like that. But so once we get a slowdown in fixing, he gets a slowdown in fixing furnaces. He said, of course, fixing heat and stuff like that, making sure people have heat. And I told him that was fine. So, one other thing that the vestry went through, I guess if you want to say is our major project, is that the vestry approved funding and for a major landscaping project that we're going to do down around the columbarium. We're actually having all the sidewalk repaired. We're having a drain put in to help with the drainage so people are not walking in a puddle of water when it rains too hard. We're redoing the pavers on the columbarium, kind of evening things out and leveling it out. And then we're also going to repair the sidewalk over here on this side of the parish hall where we've had some people trip and fall, so we're going to do some work on that area too. And we're also going to do some beautifications with the landscaping. We're going to remove a bunch of trees and put a whole new set of greenery and stuff in. And as I said, we've already proved we got Varsity Landscaping's coming to do most of that. And just as soon as the weather permits, we get some of the ice moved out. They were thinking about starting here in January, but then of course the weather turned bad. But just as soon as things melt and they're going to be coming out to get that project started doing the concrete work. Now the shrubbery and the greenery will have to wait till springtime. And as I put in my report, I'd like to very much thank Doris Maddox and her family for their generous donation in memory of Joyce, who's going to provide funding for the greenery and whatever else, to get the plants. That's one thing Varsity's going to give her a listing of plants so that they can pick things out to put down there to beautify the area. And also, Carla has something she would like to add to with regards to other donations.
There's been several people that have asked about giving donations, and you will be getting more information as we move forward about if you would like to donate to the project.
Because Carla basically headed up this project in her last few months as junior warden, and I kind of took it over as when I started as junior warden. So, yes, but. One of the other projects, this is not as major as any, but the vestry did approve. We are I've been in communication with a plumber who is going to replace all the toilets in the bathroom downstairs to make them more ADA compliant, so you don't feel like you're sitting on the floor when you go to the restroom. So, because those toilets down there are only about 50 years old, so I mean, they still do it. But, and I did speak with the plumber this past week that they're in, and just as soon as we can get a little thaw and he's gonna come put them in. So they're waiting at the supply house, that all he's gotta do is pick them up, and we get a Saturday or a day, he's gonna come and put them in. So, but as I said, all in all, mostly an uneventful year. I didn't have to cut any trees down or anything like that like I've had in the past. So, one thing I would like to say is, as always, it's always an honor and a privilege to serve as your junior warden. And please, if you ever have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to ask me. And if I can answer the questions, I will. If not, I'll find out the answer. I'll go get Joseph and I'll find out the answers.
Connie's the one
So, but do I have any questions with regards to anything? Thank y'all. No, you're going to stand here. Let me get back
Thank you, Tim. We're always grateful when we hear heating repair and things like that, when it's under like $3,000, and then we're very happy. So it's been a very good year. I always say my goal for junior warden and senior warden is to try and make their roles as boring as possible. So when it's boring as possible, that means things are going well. So glad to do that. And thank you, Tim, for your leadership on that. As we transition over to budget reports and other things, we're going to go ahead and turn off the live stream for the Community of Saints. So thank you, Community of Saints, for joining us. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. I'll turn that off, and then I'll come right back, and we'll continue on.